In this film I invite you to join me on a journey through the county of Sussex. We'll be following the Prime Meridian of 0 degrees longitude and taking a look at some of the interesting places it traverses on the way. This imaginary line, used as the basis for the world's time zones and the starting point for measuring distance, also divides Sussex between the eastern and western hemispheres. Our journey begins to the north of the county in the ancient market town of East Grinstead. Medieval half-timbered buildings still dominate the high street to this day. The Meridian Line enters Sussex and the town at the Queen Victoria Hospital site. It was here during the Second World War that Archibald Mackindo, a New Zealand surgeon, pioneered his plastic and jaw surgery, reconstructing the faces and hands of severely burnt Allied aircrew. Close to Sackville College, a Jacobean almshouse in the High Street, the townsfolk have honoured the work of Sir Archibald Mackindo by installing a statue to his memory. Outside the town council offices at East Court, there are several markers revealing the path of the meridian, including an ironstone rock designed and erected in the year 2000. Travelling further south, the line travels past the Arts and Crafts family home of Standon House and Garden. Margaret Beale was a keen gardener, designing the planting schemes for Standon. Every spring the borders bloom with colour. Together with her husband James, they commissioned William Morris fabrics and wallpapers for many of the house rooms. Just to the south of Standon, the Meridian Line cuts through Weirwood Reservoir, owned by Southern Water, and which is also a nature reserve. On the southern shore there's a hide from which many varieties of waders and water birds can be observed. Our journey continues through the western part of the Ashdown Forest, an ancient area of open heathland, situated within the high weald area of outstanding natural beauty. In 1984, a giant redwood tree was planted on the Greenwich Meridian Line to celebrate the line's centenary. We next come to the village of Danehill, with its beautiful All Saints Church. Beside a busy road in the village, a meridian marker in the form of an obelisk was unveiled on the 1st of January 2000. The family-run Heaven Farm lies to the south of Danehill, just off the A275. The farm is noted for its spectacular nature trail among some 100 acres of woodland, particularly lovely during spring when resplendent in bluebells. Children love travelling from east to west over the Meridian Line. Just below Heaven Farm, we arrive at Sheffield Park Station, where the Greenwich Meridian passes through the platforms. The Bluebell Railway, as it is known, was due to commemorate its 60th anniversary in 2020, but due to the pandemic had to postpone this until 2021. Run largely by volunteers, this heritage line was the first preserved standard gauge passenger line in the world. The railway has one of the finest collections of vintage steam locomotives and carriages, many of which were preserved straight out of service from British Railways. Nearby, Sheffield Park and Garden is famous for its spectacular autumn colour and all reflected in the lakes. Reputed to be near the centre of Sussex, we come to Lane End Common, part of Chailey Common Local Nature Reserve. The Meridian stone was installed on the common by the local Lord of the Manor in 1953. For many, Cooksbridge will be regarded as an annoying hindrance when travelling towards Lewes on the busy A275 due to its level crossing. A recent lengthening of one of the platforms has helped to get the level crossing open faster than before. In the nearby parish of Hamsey, the local council erected a wooden sign in 2014 to mark the meridian. And so we come to the county town of East Sussex, Lewes. The town is dominated by its Norman castle, one of the first castles in England to be built following the Norman conquest and Battle of Hastings in 1066. The castle was added to over the next 300 years and has stunning panoramic views across Lewes and Sussex. One of the many picturesque streets in the town, Keir Street, drops sharply downhill from the High Street towards Southover. The first of two meridian markers in Lewes can be found near this upholstery shop in Weston Road. The second, inappropriately named Meridian Road, is on the western outskirts of the town and takes the form of a column erected in 1938. Travelling further south, the Greenwich Meridian next passes through the lovely village of Iford, with its 12th century church of St. Nicholas. "30 metres to the west of the church, this Turkey oak was planted on the line with the help of every village child to commemorate the millennium. An earlier plaque is also evident in the nearby wall. Just to the east of the line, below Eyford, is another village of note, Rodmell. Monk's House in Rodmell became the home of Virginia Woolf and her husband Leonard. Here they entertained many famous writers and artists connected to the Bloomsbury Group. Virginia wrote many of her most celebrated novels in the peace and quiet of Monk's House. Finally, the Greenwich Meridian leaves the county at Peacehaven. On the top of the cliffs, the town commemorated this fact by erecting the Prime Meridian obelisk in 1936. The obelisk was damaged in the storms of 1987, when the globe on its top was lost to the sea, but it has since been replaced. And so the Meridian Line leaves Sussex and travels ever onwards to Normandy, Paris, and the rest of the world.